Welcome to this demonstration of adding a disk to a virtual machine. The first step is to provision the virtual machine. We are going to provision a Ubuntu server, the instance a name, and we're going to leave the resources at their defaults. We're also going to set this machine up for access through the internet. Our machine is ready. Note the IP address. We can go on to the next step. Now we're going to provision and attach the disk. We select Provision Disks, give our disk a name. We can select whatever size of disk we choose. Select on Provision. Now the disk is available. We can take a snapshot of the disk or destroy the disk. But in this case, we're simply going to attach the disk to our virtual machine. Select the virtual machine. A list of all our virtual machines would appear there. The disk is now attached. So on to the final step, readying the disk. There are a number of sub-steps here, so let's begin with a quick preview of what we're going to do. We will find out what the device ID is, and for this we'll use the dmesg command. We will then partition the disk, and for this we use the fdisk command. Once our disk is partitioned, we'll construct a file system on the disk. We use the make file system command to do this. We have a partitioned disk with a file system on it. Now we can mount it. We use the mount command to do this. The final thing to do is to check that everything worked. And to do this, we use the freedisk command. So we find the device ID, we partition the disk, we create a file system, and we mount the disk. Let's do this. We access the machine using SSH. We use the user ID of root, and we recall the IP address. We enter the password of the virtual machine, and now we're logged in. We now determine the device ID using the dmesg command with pipe tail -n1 displaying the last line only. In this case, the device ID is VDB. We'll use that throughout. So we're going to create a partition now. We're going to use fdisk. Fdisk takes single letter commands. We're going to enter N for create a new partition. We'll enter a P and a 1 to indicate the first primary partition. We hit return twice to select the default values for this cylinder information. Finally, the W command, or the write command, creates the partition. So let's do this. First of all, we enter N for new partition. Enter P and 1 for the first primary partition. Press return twice to get the default cylinder information. And the command W creates the partition and exits fdisk. We've created the partition. We need to put a file system on it. We use the make file system command to do this. We use the file ID that we discovered earlier. The file system is now being set up. We'll just wait until that's complete. And now that's done. We'll create a directory to mount the disk to. Now we mount the disk. Now let's check that the disk has been created. And there it is. It's at the bottom of the list of information. Let's change the directory to the newly set up disk and use the touch command to create a new file. And we list the directory to see that it's there, and it is. So we're done. Let's review everything that we've done. First of all, we've provisioned our Linux virtual machine. Then we provisioned and attached a disk for it. We connected to the machine using SSH. We determined the device ID, and then partitioned the disk. Created a new directory to mount the disk to. We mounted the disk, and then we checked to see that a disk was available. That concludes this demonstration. Thanks for watching.